This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Eloise Phillips, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Wednesday, February 4th. The President reaffirms goal to cut cancer deaths by 1/3 by 2030 on World Cancer Day. Chinese cyberattacks intensify worldwide. Taiwan and South Korea are among the main targets. And critical minerals are in the spotlight. The Foreign Ministry, close cooperation with key international partners. But first, today's top story. President Lai Ching-te delivered remarks via pre-recorded video at the 2026 World Cancer Day event this Wednesday, stating that the government is promoting a national cancer prevention and control plan with the goal of reducing the cancer mortality rate by 1/3 by 2030. This year, the Hope Foundation for Cancer Care and Kaohsiung City Government jointly organised an event to commemorate World Cancer Day that saw the foundation's vice chairman, Bruce Luo, and over 50 others cycle more than 400 kilometres in 3 days. The ride reflected the organisation's commitment to fighting cancer and promoting a healthy lifestyle among cancer survivors. In his speech, the president highlighted the need to strengthen precision medicine. To this end, he said Taiwan is staying aligned with global medical standards by building internationally recognised databases through genetic testing, precise diagnosis, and cross-ministerial collaboration.
As of last October, we have included 20 new drugs and 16 expanded coverage items, benefiting 12,300 people with estimated expenditures of nearly 12.2 billion NT dollars. The government will continue to allocate budgets to ensure the sustainable operation of the Cancer Drug Fund.
Lai said that as Taiwan's first president with a medical background, he deeply understands the enormous pressure cancer places on public healthcare and family finances. He reminded all cancer patients and their families that they are not alone and that the government is working alongside medical professionals and patient organisations to ensure a healthy Taiwan. According to statistics from the Union for International Cancer Control, or UICC, cancer is the world's second leading cause of death, with approximately 10 million deaths annually. In Taiwan, cancer has ranked first among the top 10 causes of death for 43 consecutive years. Chinese state-sponsored hacking groups have ramped up global cyber operations, with Taiwan bearing the brunt and South Korea increasingly targeted, according to a Tuesday report by Chosun Biz, a subsidiary of the South Korean Chosun Ilbo. The report cites Forescout's 2025 Threat Roundup, which found that China hosts the world's largest number of state-backed hacker organizations, making Chinese cyber threats a long-term structural issue rather than an isolated trend. Forescout's research showed that as of 2025, China had 210 state-supported hacking groups, nearly double Russia's 112 and 4 times Iran's 55. Collectively, these 3 countries account for about 45% of all state-sponsored cyber threat actors globally. Their campaigns targeted 178 nations last year, focusing heavily on government, financial and telecommunications sectors. Taiwan's National Security Bureau, or NSB, reported that cyber attacks on its government infrastructure averaged 2.63 million per day in 2025, up 113% from 2023. The attacks have evolved from data theft to infiltration of critical systems in energy, healthcare and finance, particularly during times of political or military tension with Beijing. Experts warn that Chinese hackers are shifting towards, quote, pre-positioning, end quote, strategies, quietly embedding themselves in essential digital systems to retain long-term access for potential use during future crises. Analysts say this underscores how cyber warfare has become a key instrument of modern statecraft across Asia. Critical minerals have become a key focus for 4 major nations worldwide. The 6th Taiwan-US Economic Prosperity Partnership Dialogue, or EPPD, on January 27th included cooperation on critical minerals in its agenda, and the US Department of State hosted a critical minerals ministerial on Wednesday, inviting multiple countries. Foreign Ministry spokesman Xiao Kongwei said the Taiwan-US dialogue discussed AI supply chains and critical minerals while signing the joint statement on the Pax Silica Declaration and Taiwan-US economic security cooperation. He stated that the dialogue yielded substantial results, saying,
On the results of this dialogue, both sides will continue to promote deeper cooperation with important international partners on critical minerals in the future, with the aim of jointly building a secure and resilient supply chain.
Key partners beside the US include Canada and Australia. Taiwan and Canada frequently discuss critical mining and minerals through various channels. Foreign Minister Lin Jialong has expressed hopes to extend cooperation to critical minerals during meetings with Canadian officials. For Australia, Zhao noted that Taiwan and Australia established substantive, mutually beneficial exchanges via the Taiwan-Australia Joint Energy and Minerals Trade and Investment Cooperation Consultations, or JEMTIC, platform. Last year's meeting focused on natural gas supply, hydrogen cooperation, critical minerals and battery investments, and renewed the MOU on cooperation within the fields of energy and minerals to solidify bilateral ties. Zhao emphasized that the government's policy is to lead Taiwan to the world, advancing the goal of, quote, rooted in Taiwan, laid out globally, marketed worldwide, end quote. The Foreign Ministry will continue deepening cooperation with like-minded partner nations. A National Taiwan University Hospital, or NTUH team, has successfully performed a transplant using a cryogenically preserved donor aorta, marking not just the first successful transplant in Asia, but also the first time this technique has been used to treat a severe injury. With the support of the National Science and Technology Council, or NSTC, the NTUH team eschewed the 3D printed artificial trachea used in earlier attempts due to its high failure rate in favor of the donor aorta for the transplant. They have successfully treated a young patient whose trachea was severely damaged after entanglement by power lines during a typhoon, marking the world's first case of applying this technique to repair major trauma. NTUH's Surgery Department Chair and Distinguished Professor Dr. Chen Jingxing said Wednesday that a French research team was the first to discover that when a donor's aorta is transplanted into the trachea, it grows into cartilage and mucosal cells. Attending surgeon Hong Wanting explained that for surgeons, the key to success is maximizing the contact area during the transplant, giving the precursor cells more space to grow and migrate. Looking ahead, Drs. Chen and Hong hope to understand other key components in the aorta that promote tissue regeneration, identify better sources for reconstructive materials, and engage in, quote, xenotransplantation, end quote, research, exploring whether genetically modified animal organs or tissues can be used to address the shortage of donor sources. Artists and creators are making Keelung harbour-themed postcards and multimedia pieces to celebrate the joy of sending physical mail in an email-dominated world.
A cruise ship's horn echoes across the sky over Keelung Harbor, a symbol of its transition from humble fishing village to world-class port. This bustling trade hub has established emotional connections across the world for a century. National Taiwan Normal University honorary professor Ling Pangsong warned, if Taiwan keeps sending postcards when the world stops, it could become a vital human asset. As digital tools dominate and paper fades, creators worldwide are turning to postcards, engraving, ceramics, and glass to capture Keelung's rich history. Gradient blue seas ripple in ceramic depictions of the harbor, glass sculptures show sailboats navigating vast oceans. Hong Kong artists sketch the rain capital in ink. IGRED Cultural and Educational Foundation honorary chairperson Chen Yuxiu noted, postcards represent a disappearing culture. Some countries have already begun phasing out postal services. Zhanghua Post chairman Wang Guocai added, stamps tell stories. For example, our top 12 stamps baseball issue shows underdogs triumphing 4-0 over Japan after a relentless struggle. Physical mail is declining rapidly. Denmark ceased all domestic letter delivery this year after volumes fell 90% since 2000, deeming traditional mail uneconomical. However, as paper correspondence becomes rarer, its cultural significance only increases. Phil Leskowski for RTI News.
Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Eloise Phillips. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.
Cash for everyone. The government is giving out 10,000 NT dollars. It's easy to claim. Choose direct deposit, ATM, or post office. Check details at the official website 10,000.gov.tw or 10000.gov.tw or call the free hotline at 1988. Stay alert. Don't trust unknown sources. This advertisement is brought to you by the Ministry of Finance.